And we're going to help you formulate a methodology to tell your spiritual story, your story of how you came to Christ. And we call it a 4-word testimony. I don't want you to get hung up on the 4 words. If you need 6 or 8, that's okay. But I'll describe it in just a second. And I'll tell you my testimony. But the deal is this. If I have a 4-word testimony, and I say it frequently, I can do it really precisely. And I start to learn what really resonates with the people about my personal story. Because what happens is, in my 4 words, you may find common ground with me. So for me, I was I became a Christian at 13. I was really insecure, but also very aggressive. So my happiness is in my insecurity. I was happy if you weren't happy. I had a smart mouth. I still have a smart mouth. I have to be really careful. And I had very little purpose. So I was going 100 miles an hour. I was insecure, and I was mean. I was president of everything. I went to Youth for Christ Club. This kid asked me for months, and the reason being is because if he brought a guest, he got a big chocolate bar. That's why he invited me. It was Mark Florence. Mark asked me to come, and of course, because I was insecure, I wanted to be president of everything. They elected me the captain of the club. And as a result, I had to go to Youth for Christ camp for a weekend. And the very first thing on Saturday morning, this amazing lodge with shag carpeting. The shag was this deep. I mean, literally, you could put things in it and hide it. It was amazing. They presented the gospel, and it was 2 guys. They were no shirt, no shoes. They just had overalls on and only one up. They were kind of an Abner and Amos type of thing. And they're having fun. About halfway through, I go, holy smokes, I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Christian. I had been going to church all my life. I could tell you, I knew the difference between Noah and Moses. I'd gone to school enough times. You know, as a youth worker, you can tell the story of the ark and put Moses on it, and like most of the kids don't blink. they go for it. And so at that very moment, as they're sharing the gospel, I was embarrassed and kind of dejected. And like 30 seconds later, I was elated, and I was born again. And I asked Jesus to be my Lord and Savior. And afterward, I almost immediately, I came out with purpose, clarity. And I had, if you see a corn cob, I had the first kernel of peace. I had the first piece of peace that's been growing throughout my life as I became more like Christ. Now, the interesting thing is we're driving home that night. I was a stinker on Halloween. It was Halloween night. It's October 31st, and it's about 6:30 as I'm going home, and the windows are a little fogged up. I remember this like it's yesterday. And the kids are coming out, and I said out the window, not to my father, I said, Halloween's never, well, because I used to take squirt rifles out, and we'd squirt the little kids. We had a little squad of about 10 guys. We were just terrible. We were just awful. We'd squirt kids. I said, Halloween's never going to be the same. And I can remember like it was yesterday, my father leaned over and said, was that a cult? He asked me. So my 4 words are, in this 2 to 3 word testimony on either side of the gospel, mine was insecure and I lacked purpose, purposeless. So I was going 100 miles an hour, no direction. And then afterward, I had purpose and peace, growing peace at that point. Those are my 4 words. Now, if you need 6, do it. I don't care. If you need 4. But then in the middle, the bridge is when you became a Christian. And what happened there. Now, some of you are going to have a story that, you've been going to church since you were knee-high to a grasshopper. But the reality is, at some point, you actually, in your mind, recognize Jesus Christ as God's Son and as your Lord and Savior. I'm not saying that you didn't accept Christ as a 4-year-old, but there is a seminal event where you realize that I need Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And in a few moments here, Justin's going to walk you through Gospel on a Napkin, and he'll tell you his 4-word testimony as well. So what I want you to do is go to tables.